Today we are talking about Underconsumption Core and why this trend will ultimately leave you feeling disappointed and unfulfilled. And what should you do instead? But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about what's actually good about it. What is it? Who am I to even talk about this? Underconsumption Core is just a young person's name for living beneath your means, which is something we all really should be doing. It's just a normal human activity, and I think it's healthy. I do think that's a good thing. We should all be living beneath our means, because if anybody's living above their means, that lifestyle will eventually come crashing to the ground. You need to live below your means. I mean, this is mostly a thrifting channel, so I'm preaching to the choir here. A lot of us really enjoy living beneath our means. We love scoring a deal. But along with thrifting often comes buying too many things or thrift hoarding. And I really feel that this is a relevant topic for us as well. I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Diana. This is a channel where we talk about living your best life through style. And that often comes through thrifting unique clothes. A lot of you may not know this, but I'm actually like the queen of simple living. I've never really showed you how I live, and I really don't plan on showing you in depth. But you should know these things about me. I live in a tiny house. I drive an older car that's completely paid off. I only have 2 appliances on my countertop. I don't own a microwave. I don't own a TV. I don't even have any subscription services except for YouTube. And I don't exactly do this because I'm frugal or because I'm trying to save money. I just like my life to be as simple as possible. And I think that's what's at the core of Underconsumption Core. I don't like this term, guys. I'm just using it because that's what people are calling it. Underconsumption Core. Why does everything have to be a core, young people? Sometimes things can just be things. I am not hating on young people. I can't imagine what it's like to be a young person today and constantly have a screen in my face telling me how I need to perfect my looks, and I can do it and I should do it, and if I don't do it, I will not be worth anything in this world. I can't imagine what that's like. I grew up drinking from a garden hose and wearing mismatched socks well into my teens. So I don't know how hard it is to live as a young person today. I'll admit that right now. But I do know that going about underconsumption or living beneath your means as a trend is not going to work out for you in the long term, and this is why. What's wrong with Underconsumption Core? It's that you're approaching underconsumption or living beneath your means, which is a normal lifestyle, as a trend. And every trend changes, and trends change really fast these days. They didn't always used to change this fast. But now trends are like every few months. Sometimes it can be weeks. I don't think Mob Wife lasted very long at all. I think you guys should try to hang on to your trends a little bit longer, get a little more shelf life out of the things you do buy. And I don't even think Coastal Grandma caught on. You're just not giving it enough time. You're just not letting it get its feet on the ground. It's too fast. So it's a trend. You've made it an aesthetic, but it's normal life. When you take something that's normal and make it a trend, and a trend is going to go out of fashion in 3 months, well, then you're going to be right back to, oh, that's my bird clock in the kitchen going off. It goes off every hour. I love it. I love birds. The idea of following trends. If you follow a trend, you're constantly on your toes to find out, when am I out of style? I don't want to be out of style. Oh, goodness, I have to be, goodness. Why am I so twee? Like, oh my goodness, I've got to find out what the next trend is so I can be ahead of everybody, so I can be cool. And then I have to be in danger of not being cool the entire time I'm following this trend. And when we follow this trend of being a normal person and then worry about being off trend, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. Can we just be normal for a second? Can we be normal and not buy mountains of things from Temu? Can we not buy mountains of Amazon products to fill our happy holes? And you know what? I'm going to say it. Only you can fill your own happy hole. I know there's like 3 people that like when I say that, but I don't care because it's the truest thing that I say. Only you can fill your happy hole, the hole inside of you that you need to fill with your own healing so that you can be happy, so that you can be kind and generous. These are not things that you can buy and you can put in the happy hole and be happy. That's why they say money doesn't buy happiness, although I like money. We all like money. Money's great. But the reason they say that is because money doesn't fill the happy hole, and neither does a Shein haul. And here's the second thing that's wrong about Underconsumption Core, and that is that it focuses on the wrong aspects. It focuses on what not to do. Do not buy this. Do not do that. And when you put your focus on lack and don't do something, we all know how that goes. Have you ever been on a diet? Have you ever told yourself, don't eat that? I've quit this. I'm done with that. It doesn't work. It's just not going to work. When you focus on lack and deprivation, you're going to go crazy off to the other side eventually. And you know that a diet never lasts long if you focus on what you can't eat. So what can you do instead of concentrating on this underconsumption core trend? Just like a diet, what you can do is focus on what you can have and what feels good. Enjoy the things you love and cut out the rest. I like to call it simplicity because it doesn't imply deprivation or denying yourself things that bring you joy. It's not focusing on lack. It focuses on simple things that keep your mind clear and your priorities straight. I know what you're thinking. What if your priority is mountains of Amazon packages? Maybe this video is not for you. I'm glad you're here. Maybe you should stay, but maybe it's not for you. The thing about having a simple life is that it's not a life of deprivation. It's a life of prioritizing what matters to you, prioritizing what makes you feel good. And if that means buying tons of thrift clothes and shoes, then I do that. But I only have a rice cooker and a tea kettle on my countertop. You know, I once had a friend who used to come in here and tell me about all the things that I should have, all the things that I need. And you know what I did get after she told me that? I got rid of that friend because I can't have people in my life telling me that the things that make me happy don't make me happy. I don't have time to fight that. Nobody's got time for that. What makes you happy makes you happy, but you have to do the job and identify what those things are. For me, one of the main things that makes me happy and I spend money on without even worrying about it is a gym membership. I love my gym membership. I love to swim. I love to float in water and pretend I am floating above the world. There's no screens. There's nobody calling me on the phone. There's no texts for that whole hour. It is the most amazing thing in my life. These sorts of things bring me so much joy, and staying healthy and fit brings me so much joy. It's actually the thing that makes my life the best it can be. So I do spend money on a gym membership, and I do spend money on mountains of thrift clothes because they make me happy. But I don't spend money on a new car. I don't spend money on a luxury bag. It is not under consumption. I consume plenty. Do you think that a person sitting here with winged eyeliner and red lipstick is going to tell you to not consume? Consuming's fun. Consuming what you love is what makes life rich. But consuming everything makes life chaos. Consuming little bits of plastic that you're going to use once and then they're going to sit around haunting you to dust them and move them, that is chaos that I don't need in my life. Focus in on those things that you love. Other things that are super important to me and I spend on them without caring is fresh food, great vegetables I've never tried. That is so fun for me. I spend money on great skincare. It really matters to me that my skin looks its best for my current age. Social media is constantly pushing things in front of your face that you need to buy and consume. And it's totally unsustainable. And if you go into Underconsumption Core and you are consuming these videos that tell you to not buy anything, well, that's going to be unsustainable too. You're not going to enjoy your life. The balance is somewhere in the middle. And I don't know why things have to be so extreme these days, but it's somewhere in the middle, guys. There's something in there called simplicity. I mean, to me, Underconsumption Core sounds like suffering. And I mean, if you're into suffering, then you were probably raised Methodist. What? I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, but I'm kidding. And how do I know these things? I don't know. So let me get back to what it's like to be a person today. It's so difficult to find yourself when you can never be bored, when you never have the silence in your mind to hear those little voices that give you ideas or tell you what you want to do next or listen to your gut. Like, you can't do this without the space of boredom. Some people call it meditation. Some people call it boredom. Some people call it just sitting with your thoughts. It's all the same thing. You need time to sit with your thoughts so you can figure out who you are and what you like. So if you're not sure what deeply fills your soul, try a little bit more silence. It's got to be really hard to develop a love of things when you don't have time to pursue them or don't have time to think about them or research them. And we're just never bored these days. And I'm including myself in this, guys. I was just at Target returning something last night, waiting in line, and I was looking on Pinterest of like pictures of cabins that I will never own, chickens I will never raise. I could have taken those couple of minutes to just sit with my thoughts. So I'm guilty too. That's all I'm saying, is that I'm not preaching. I am in it with you to win it. A couple of other things you could try are trying new activities that are in the real world, getting out there with people, doing real activities, classes. And one more thing you could try is turning off your TV when you're not intentionally watching a show. Believe it or not, all of that chattering, even when you're not watching, stealing your thoughts. It's stealing your energy. See if you can reclaim some of that so that you can focus on living a more simple life. Simplicity. Right here in the middle. We are never not consuming. Even if you're watching an underconsumption video like you are right now, you're consuming something. Consuming is not inherently bad, but just make sure you're taking time to consume more things that fill your soul and delight you and bring you true happiness. And here's my list of 4 things you will never regret. Unlike that mountain of Amazon packages you're having delivered tomorrow. Number 1, you will never regret putting your health first. You will never regret taking time to spend time with your thoughts. You will never regret investing in your friendships. And you will never regret getting out into nature. I hope you enjoyed consuming this video. Best of luck on your journey to simplicity. If you liked this video, you might like this one here. Let's spend some time together and hang out. Talk to you soon.